time to clean up the bottom of this head because I don't want to get any deformation under the first heat treat cycle when the head is at a high temperature. And onto the preheat for the welding so we can fix up some of these imperfections in the casting. Quick bit of practice while the other head is heating up in the kiln. Forgetting the earth clamp is a really good way to wake yourself up in the morning. Into the kiln for the first step of the T6 heat treat. And a bit of hot water. I'm loving the patterns on these heads after they're quenched in the hot water. And just a tiny bit of distortion from the quench, but that should machine out a piece of cake. Hey guys, Logan here, and as you can see our cylinder head is coming along nicely. I've just been doing a whole bunch of welding yesterday, so that was preheating the head and then doing some welding and then putting it back in the kiln to distribute the heat. And then welding again. I did that in 8 different spots on the head, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll put some pictures up of that now. And yes, so now we're on to the T6 heat treat. So we've got to do that before we can start the machining. And the last step, I just got to put it in the kiln at about 154 degrees Celsius and then let it cool down, and that's the heat treat part done. So I'm looking forward to starting the machining, screwing up top and bottom, and going from there. Quick little deburring, there's a few sharp edges. And not looking too bad. Bit of housekeeping. Squaring it up so that I can make sure that I've got these head bolt holes completely parallel with the head. No high-tech tool changing here, unfortunately. Jeez, that sounds horrible. And there we go, that's all my dowels and head bolt holes cleaned up and ready to roll. This fixture, no joke, took me probably half an hour to get right. It was a pain in the ass. Yeah, this thing's pretty cool. Gives me a good reference on the center of this hole, Now I can use that to figure out exactly where I need to move on my DRO to get these other holes bang on where I need them, because I don't want to have to put it back in position to do anything more on this intake face. I've got it to spec already. Just going to drill and tap these holes, and then this side is done. And yeah, I've got it within 0.05, it's about 0.03 of a mil, which is not too bad on a rough cast surface. My fancy depth gauge tool. Trying my very best not to tap one of these holes on the piss. Quick wee deburr. And there we go, that is the intake all finished up, and I am pretty happy with it. I've got an M6 bolt at the bottom, I've got two M5s at the top, and yeah, that piece is pretty much done. I shouldn't really have to touch that again. Top surface isn't too bad. I've left some material, about 1.5 mil on here, and then the bottom surface has about 0.5 mil left. It is pretty close to perfect. I could pretty much use it how it is, but I'm pretty sure once I dive into the combustion chamber area, I will find some other, you know, small imperfections, and I'll be able to touch them up with the welder and then clean it up with that 0.5 mil that's remaining. Now, I was planning on this video doing some boring for the buckets like on this head here, and I was going to do both the intakes, and I was actually going to drill and ream the two holes and practice installing some valve guides and seeing how I go there. But I was just informed by my engineer friend that I got a hand reamer, and apparently that is not good enough for what I want to do. A machine reamer would be much more rigid and accurate, and it totally makes sense. I didn't even know that I couldn't. I thought I'd just be able to use this in a machine, but apparently that's not the case. So that's all right. That'll just have to wait for another video. Now, I just thought to myself when I was picking this up a minute ago, this actually feels pretty light for a cylinder head, and I thought, oh, I should actually see how much it weighs. So for reference, here is a stock FXR head that's obviously a bit damaged, and we're looking at 2.9 kg. Which is actually relatively light. Here's the last version of the head where it still had a pretty beefy intake and quite a few other things. We're at 1.75 kg. And then the latest version, with some of the machining done, is 1.48. So already under, we're almost half the weight of this cylinder head over here. So it's just, yeah, a smidge on the heavier side of half, which is really good. I'm hoping I've actually put enough meat in the important areas and it's not going to break, but that's just part of the experimentation and trial and error. I'll soon find out. So the plan is I'm going to do everything on this head possible to get it running. Even if the water jacket's not perfect or we have leaks, I'm just going to try plug them up. Once I've got the intake and all of the combustion chamber machining done, I want to take it to a local guy in town and flow bench it and see what sort of numbers we're getting there compared to a normal head, compared to my other race bike cylinder head, which I've modified the ports. And then, yeah, see what needs to be improved. And then I want to be able to get this running essentially, so I can see what numbers it actually makes in real life, because flow bench numbers are one thing, but actual dyno numbers or actual speed on the racetrack, etc. are two different things. Now, to get this head to completely finished, I need to actually purchase some Yamaha parts. I need to, well, the plan is I'm going to buy the valve guides, because you can actually get them, and they're already made to suit the titanium valves. They are cast iron, I believe, but they seem to work fine on a stock R6. And I need to buy a set of valves, which, holy guacamole, are they not cheap. I might be getting some valves, or a valve, for Christmas, and I'll have to save up and buy the rest, because yeah, if anyone knows someone who works at a Yamaha dealership and they think this is really cool and they want to get me a discount or something like that, that would be hugely appreciated, because yeah, I'm not made of money, unfortunately, but I do my best. And so yeah, on that note, this has been Logan from the Motorcycle Forge. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.